crap. First of all, my epistemology fell apart.
Really? Or rather, I exposed hypocrisy and double standards. And then even my atheism became, actually, no, it's polytheism in denial. And then I had to start taking it really seriously. And then when I started looking at the belief system and like understanding it more deeply, I took very much kind of like first of all, almost like running it like a virtual machine in my head. You know, like, okay, if I were to take this axiom, if I were to explore it from a position of belief, how would that work out? How does the observables of the universe...
Sorry, could you suppose, if you don't mind, how do you ground those axioms?
Well, this is the thing. Axioms essentially are the grounding, right? That's
There's
kind
no
of
presupposition to axioms.
no. So you know this thing where we agreed every proof is relative to prior beliefs. So you prove that P is true.
Yeah.
Some proposition P is true because you've accepted it follows from a bunch of prior propositions. That's how all proofs say, well, because of these things are true, you follow this logic, then this is true, right? And so you can then repeat, you say, okay, why are these true? And go back and back and back. The ones you go back to at the very beginning are called your axioms. That's the difference between an axiom and other propositions.
Solipsism.
So one example of an axiom that you might have but have not necessarily questioned is your own existence, right? Technically, saying I exist is an axiom rather than an observational reality.
How do you ground that?
Well,
I exist.
Well, this is the thing. At some point, you have to take it. You essentially have to take it as exactly. That's what axiom basically means. And what you're always looking for is, what is my minimal, most fruitful set of axiomatic propositions?
It's like it's Saturday and I've come down the wrong day or something.
No, it's Sunday. It's definitely Sunday.
Right.
So, for example, my existence one, I can. There's a difference between proof and justification. So I can justify taking an axiom, right? Because I can say, okay, if I do not exist, then everything I'm saying subsequent to that is actually in contradiction to me saying it because I don't exist, so I can't say it. And so if I take that, if I don't take the I exist axiom, then everything I say is in contradiction anyway, and therefore I'm out of the bounds of reason anyway.
I'm trying to figure out the word. Saying that I don't exist. It's not.
You can't even, because the I is already self-referenced, so I don't exist is already a contradiction. It's like the liar's paradox, you know, or like, have you read like a piece of paper that says this statement is false? Yes. Well, if it's false, it's true. If it's true, it's false.
So that works.
No, because it's self-contradictory, right? Because if this statement is false, if it's true, then it's false because it says it's false.
Circular, no?
Yeah, exactly. It's these. You see what I mean? So
yeah, but isn't the axiom circular? That's what I'm saying. Because you're agreeing upon something without.
Yes, this is interesting. It's interesting. So, in reality, whether it be physics, maths, anything, you can't avoid some kind of circularity because the axioms. What happens is to break the circularity, you take these axioms and you say, okay. From these, I'm now not reasoning circularly, right? I'm reasoning from a foundation. It comes back to grounding. But those axioms themselves were arrived at by another set of things. And so there really is, at some point, you have to cut the circle. But really, underneath, there always is one.
Murky waters, no?
It is. It's very murky. But it's also very successful. This is how we develop mathematics. This is how we develop physics. This is chemistry and all that. So, yes. It works, and then it's interesting to investigate why or how it works, and then come back to this idea of, okay, because remember all of this was sort of thinking, what do I believe, why do I believe it, how can I disentangle or disassociate what I was effectively indoctrinated with, be it by my father or by the schooling system, from what's really true, how do I go about that? Long story short, first of all, I came to the conclusion that Islam was better than any other system I knew, but that wasn't sufficient. And then at some point, I came to the realization that actually it's the best system there could be, even in principle. If you look at like the hierarchy of unification of ideas, the single axiom shahada,
unification.
it's the most grand unified theory. Everything else can sit somewhere else underneath it. Because I found, like, experimentally, if you like, once I had taken the axiom on, once I accepted it and really believed it and lived my life this way, I had this almost instant flip where, like, suddenly I could see things from a top-down perspective, and the top of that top-down perspective was higher than it had ever been before. And now I could see how things were related in a way that I couldn't before.
A state of mind.
It affected my state of mind, yeah. Improved it.
Proof.
No, improved it.
Proof.
Improved it, yeah. Well, I mean, in a sense, it's proof in, if you take the definition of empirical evidence. So if you take it as saying the experiment is to adopt the theory and see, does it have the outcomes it was predicted to have for me in my life? Yes, it did. And
Nuances.
did I have the sorry?
Nuances. Does it have predictive power?
Well, so there's a theories for, well, like, if you take it as a theory and say, okay, what does it predict will become of someone? Someone will change. People will change when they take shahada, when they become Muslim seriously. What are the predicted kind of changes? What kind of feelings are there, and so on? And indeed, they were true for me. So that's why I'm saying, in a sense, in this sense of empiricism,
How are you? You good?
it matched up. It wasn't inconsistent.
But isn't that all systems?
Well, sometimes you take a theory and then you test it out, and the data doesn't match the hypothesis. So in this case, all I'm saying is the data matches the hypothesis. And there's interesting things as well. Like, in Islam, we have the idea that there is a qareen, right? This jinn that's attached to you, and that you have a nafs, you have a qalb, all these sort of components of being a human. And I became aware of them, like able to see them in an internal sense, where I couldn't see them before. So it was also a functional theory, like it had functional value that worked with analysing and understanding my internal feelings.
How do you objectify that?
Well, what do you mean by objective?
Because your subjective self said, I feel this thing.
Yep.
How can you show this? How can you demonstrate that to me?
Well, so this is an interesting question. It comes back to, remember what we said about physics and you have to take some axioms at some point.
Yeah.
That is essentially intersubjective, right? Because there's everyone who is involved in that world of physics experimental stuff. They're human beings, and they, at least as far as we know. But anyone who they need to be able to run that system of ideas in their head. They need to be able to see what's going on. They need to be able to consume the data. They need to have some space and time location relative to the experiment, and so on and so forth. So it is a subjective group. It's just a very large subjective group. There's lots of people who don't believe the Earth is round, right? Lots of flat earthers, and so is there
many systems, many religions ascribe to this thing.
Which thing?
The self.
Yes, the existence of the self. Yeah.
Are they all correct?
Well, again, I believe the self exists, but remember, I used to believe the self exists on the basis of it being an independent axiom for the justification reasons I gave. But once I'd taken the Shahada axiom, then that comes for free as a consequence, so I don't need to take it as an extra axiom. So I have a much more efficient system of axioms now.
I'm going to leave it there.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because it's murky.
Murky?
Yeah.
Is there any way I can clarify it before you go? Can you explain a bit about your epistemology and what you believe before you go? Because it's been mostly me telling you. Like, I don't really understand what you believe or how you believe it. Or if truth's accessible.
Feeling.
Just a feeling.
Yeah. Just my emotions.
Okay.
And I can't get to the bottom. It's just how I feel, my state of mind.
Very interesting. There's a good question as to whether or not you should expect to ever get to the bottom.
I don't think so. I just don't know. I'm ignorant. I'm going to wait until I die.
Careful, because that might be too late.
I don't think so. I have a feeling think so. I know myself. And I base my world view on myself.
So you were happy with perfectly subjective or purely subjective? Was that?
I'm not happy, I'm not overjoyed.
Okay, yeah, wrong word.
But I can't decipher. I can't shift through. It's just me, the ego.
You may be one of the most interesting philosophical thinkers I've spoken to at Speaker's Corner. You know that.
That's where we leave it. On a high, brother.
All right,
it's
why
good
not?
to talk to you, man.
Yeah, I'll see you again.
Thank you.
God willing. Well, there you go.
Something.
Nothing to say, really. It's wrapped up. There we go.